There was a kind of liberal tradition in Britain which coexisted together at the same time with a sort of imperialist tradition. And one always has to understand this tension. So, I mean, you go back to a sort of whole set of decisions, judgments that were made in the 18th century. I mean, I mentioned the Wilkes case. I mean, the Wilkes case is much misunderstood. And I mean, I don't want to go into all that history. But the point was, there was this tradition in Britain. It was a liberal country, that we weren't like the Europeans who were, continentals. They had censorship. They had all of those sort of things. We were even very slow in Britain in setting up a police, for example. But eventually, we are an empire. We are a monarchy. We are in competition with other great powers. And of course, we also have, and this is particularly important in 1889, and I'm sure that as part of the background, might not have been discussed exactly, but I'm sure it was there. There are problems in Ireland. This, our closest colony, there's disturbances there. There's, the Fenian movement is growing. So we are going to start protecting our secrets. And you have this tension. And the point about what happens is that when that boundary is crossed, when we first decide in Britain to pass an Official Secrets Act, which we do in 1889, putting to one side, if you like, our libertarian tradition, we nonetheless encompass within it a public interest defense. But the drift ever after, from that moment on, is to make the process ever more restrictive. So it becomes more restrictive, it becomes more all-encompassing, it becomes tougher, the penalties become tougher, it starts extending to the media, and this has been a steady, progressive trend ever since that line was crossed way back in the 1880s.